It's really good. Okay, I mean, we've all spent so much time on TikTok at this point. It is more or less running our lives. We are buying things we've heard about on TikTok. We are doing our makeup new ways that we've learned on TikTok, and we're cooking recipes we found on TikTok. Hi, I'm Candace the Edgy Veg, and I'm also on TikTok. Welcome back. I thought today would be really fun to try and veganize and test at the same time. All of those viral, not all of them, we don't have enough time for that, but a few of those viral recipes that everyone is making and posting and stitching and duetting, just, you know, the vegan version, and see if they actually live up to the hype of the TikTok video. So I'm gonna do, I think 5 different recipes. We're gonna hit up that feta pasta, we're gonna do the pasta chips, we're gonna do those weird cookies that are super healthy. We're gonna do some everything bagel roll-ups, like tortilla pizzas, and that's it, right? Those are the ones we're going to test out. They're fairly easy to veganize. A lot of them, luckily, I can just buy the vegan counterpart to the non-vegan product. So, for example, with the cream cheese, it's got a vegan version. But anyway, you didn't come here to hear me talk, so let's start cooking. All right, so let's start with the first one. It is pasta chips. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I was like, why? It just sounds like overcooked pasta. And then I was like, hold on, but if I make like a baked ziti, the overcooked pasta is so good. So like, I kind of get it. Essentially, the recipe is cook pasta, toss it with some herbs, spices, some Parmesan cheese, put it in the air fryer until you get chips. I'm doing things a little differently. When you cook pasta, you're cooking it in salted water, and like salt is great and it's, you know, it adds flavor, but I'm going to cook it in broth. So I'm going to get some just like vegetable broth. You can also do like a no chicken or no beef bouillon cube broth situation. And I think that's going to just like really flavor them a lot better than just water. Like, you have the opportunity to flavor this however you want. Now that I'm thinking about it, I would also add like a couple tablespoons of maybe like tomato paste into the water. That could be interesting, instead of just like oil and salt. I think that'll make it a lot more flavorful. So I'm super excited about that. I just grabbed some vegan Parmesan. This one is Follow Your Heart / Earth Island, depending on if you're Canada or US. And so yeah, let's make some pasta. All right, so I just like to use this like bouillon powder for most of my broths, just because broth is really heavy if you don't have a car and you're doing groceries. So I just prefer bouillon cubes or bouillon powder. So I just have a bunch of water here in a pot, and I'm going to add the bouillon powder and make a delicious broth. All right, and if you have bouillon cubes, you can just add bouillon cubes if you don't have powder. You want to bring that to a boil. All right, then just add your pasta, cook it until al dente. So depending on your pasta, anywhere between like 7 and 10 minutes. I also chose penne mainly because I keep seeing penne. Fusilli or rotini also probably would be really good because there's so much surface area for things to get stuck to, but we'll see how this goes. All right, so while we're waiting for the pasta to cook, I'm going to make the suggested whipped feta dip. So I have the vegan feta here, I have some yogurt, and then the original recipe was kind of plain. It was just like a garlic clove and olive oil. Because a lot of vegan cheeses are made of oil, I'm not going to add the olive oil. And then I added spices that I love, especially in like a Greek style dip, which is the dill, oregano, onion powder, and garlic powder. All right, so I'm just using my tiny little food processor here, and I'm going to add the feta, add the yogurt. I'm just using a plain yogurt, and then we're gonna add the spices, and then we'll blend it. So I'm not going to salt it until after, I want to get a good feel for the taste first, and I mean, the vegan feta is quite salty. That is dill, oregano, garlic powder, and onion powder. All right, go in, scrape down the sides as necessary, and then just blend it until it's nice and whipped. All right, so I'm going to really make sure that these are nice and dry. So I'm gonna give them a sec to evaporate or have the water evaporate off of them, because if there's liquid, it's not gonna crisp up, and you really need them to crisp up. But in the same pot, because it's nice and warm, so instead of dirtying another bowl, I'm just gonna do this in the same pot. I'm going to add some olive oil. I'm just gonna add the olive oil right in there. And then I'm also going to add the spices. All right, so I'm gonna toss it right into that bowl. Again, I'm keeping, see how in the colander there's these little holes? I'm keeping them off of this area here just in case there is any liquid left in there. And then I'm just gonna give it a quick toss in that oil and spices, making sure everything is coated. And then going in with the cheese. And the cheese should start to melt here a little bit and stick to the pasta because the pasta's nice and hot. Then we're going in with salt and pepper. One last toss. And then this is going into the air fryer. I'm going to do this in batches just because I want them to get nice and crispy. So that means I want there only to be like one layer on the bottom of the air fryer so that there's enough surface area for it to get nice and crispy. If I overload it, some is going to get crispy and then the rest are just gonna kind of taste like stale pasta. All right, so definitely try to like move them around so that we're gonna start at 10 minutes. I have a feeling we're gonna have to go up to like 17. I've heard anything from 10 to 17 minutes on TikTok, so. Here's our first batch. All right, second batch. Oh, I'm dropping a couple here. All right, so I am just kind of setting it up the same way I would like chips and dip. So here they are. They sound super crunchy. Okay. I was actually expecting it to be more stale than crunchy. I'm very happy with this result. All right, let's try this chip dip. Really good. The crunch is so much more satisfying than I thought it was going to be. The only thing that I would complain about is that these are they're not bland, but they could be flavorful. So I think even like cooking it in a tomato sauce or adding some tomato paste to the cooking water along with the broth, or cooking like, I saw someone cook like sausage with it and then you have that. I think definitely cooking it with some sort of tomato or sausage or something would make this so much more flavorful. So I'm definitely going to try that next time. This dip is amazing, so good. I would even thin this out and use this as a salad dressing. Definitely try this one. I'd say with a couple tweaks, this one is Edgy Veg approved. Okay, next let's make these everything bagel and cream cheese roll up things. So essentially, it's a tortilla with cream cheese, everything bagel rolled up and fried in butter. I mean, nothing about that sounds gross. It all sounds very delicious. Let's see if it is as good as the woman in the video makes it out to be. All right, so the first step is get a tortilla, and then we're going to cover it in vegan cream cheese. Whichever one is your favorite, use that. Now this is supposed to be like a keto friendly recipe, so I assume that they're not using flour tortillas, but I am, because I like flour tortillas. They're probably using some sort of gluten-free tortilla, unless tortillas are fine, but you can't have flour or gluten in keto, so probably not. All right, so that is covered in cream cheese, and now we're gonna sprinkle the everything bagel seasoning on top of it. This is my homemade everything bagel seasoning. If you would like the recipe for that, check it out on my blog. Very delicious and easy to make and cheap. I guess I should get some on the outside edges here too. All right, and then roll it up and cut it. All right, so you just wanna fry them on each side for a couple minutes in butter. I'm just using vegan margarine because that's what I have. And looks like they're already starting to get nice and golden brown. So when they're golden brown, just flip them. All right, let's give these a little taste test. I mean, yeah, it's really good. It was a cute snack for like a kid. So the tortilla is like crispy because you fried it, obviously. And then the cream cheese is nice and soft and it's flavored with the everything bagel. Yeah, I really like this. I would definitely make this again. Edgy Veg approved. I'm also obsessed with everything bagel and cream cheese, so, I mean, I'm biased. All right, the next recipe is that super famous, everyone's done it, the feta pasta. We're gonna put tomatoes and feta in a casserole dish, throw it into the oven, and mix pasta up with it. I'm gonna add a couple more herbs and spices because it sounds really boring to just do feta and tomatoes. Okay, so I have my casserole dish. Haha, I have my tomatoes. These are just your regular grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. Heirloom tomatoes would be really nice. And then I have my homemade feta that I had in my freezer because I make a big bunch and then I freeze some. And 4 spices. So I'm gonna use probably I have some garlic rub, so I have like a salt-free garlic. This one is garlic and herb, and then also Italian seasoning. That's probably what I'll add, plus salt and pepper. And yeah, throw it in the oven for about 40 minutes. All right, I'm gonna start with the olive oil. And then I'm going to go in with my herb and garlic seasoning, like salt-free garlic situation. Lots of Italian herbs. And I'll probably do a couple of chili flakes as well. Then I'm just gonna like mix it all together and make a little divot hole situation here. Pop in the feta and then just bake that. All right, I'm throwing this in here for 30 minutes at 400. I saved some of the pasta water because I love to use that to make like a super extra creamy sauce. And our tomatoes and feta are done. So usually you just add the pasta to your casserole dish, but my casserole dish is pretty tiny, so I'm just going to do everything in the pot that I cooked the pasta in. But look at how this came out. These tomatoes are just nice and roasty and juicy. It smells incredible. I'm gonna add a little bit of pasta water. Now let's add that to the pasta. Taste and season it with salt and pepper, and then you're good to go. That's it, that's all. Recipe number 4, healthy banana oat cookies that everyone's making. Questionable in terms of if they're gonna be good or not, but you know what? I'm not gonna judge a book by its cover. Just because something looks ugly doesn't mean it tastes terrible. So yeah, let's try it. All right, so this one's ready. I'm using a very ripe banana for this because it's sweeter. And that's what I would actually use in banana bread too. And this seems kind of like you should think of this the same way, just cookies. It's a half a banana. I'm gonna mash that before I add the rest of the ingredients. Oats are going to be like the only almost like binding kind of substance. There's no like flour or anything like that, which I've done that before with like no bake cookies, so I don't see why this wouldn't work. So we've got some oats here, vanilla. It says cinnamon to taste, some peanut butter, mix that all together. And it doesn't look like this is gonna make very many cookies. So it's supposed to make 6 cookies. I can make 4, and they're small. They're very small. Okay, and then, almost forgot the chocolate chips. This is the smallest amount of cookie batter I've ever seen in my life, so I'm not turning on the oven for this. I'm gonna do this in the air fryer. I'm just gonna grease it. 6 cookies for a squirrel. Put that into your oven, or in my case, the air fryer. So at 375 for 8 to 10 minutes. All right, these cookies are done. They're not the prettiest things in the world, but that's okay. Yeah, tastes good. Tastes like I would expect a healthy banana chocolate chip cookie to taste like. Too basic. This probably wouldn't be like my go-to for so many sounds. This probably wouldn't be like my go-to, but like it's not bad. I could see how if you were craving something sweet, this would definitely squash that craving, but I mean, I've definitely had better cookies. All right, the 5th and final recipe is a tortilla pizza. Build a pizza on a tortilla, bake it in the oven with pudding. All right, so I'm going to bake mine in this cast iron pan, which I've heated up while the oven is preheating. And then I'm just gonna make, a little pizza. So I have the sauce, the base of any good pizza. I'm just gonna do a basic pizza. I don't have any plant-based pepperoni, so I'm just gonna use like meaty crumbles, like a vegetarian beef crumble situation. And then I'm just going to crumble some crumble on top. Some cheese. I'm gonna do a little combination of cheeses just because I like it. So we have some Nabati cheese, we have some applewood. All right, and then throw it into the oven. So, I'm actually really impressed. It tastes like a thin crust pizza, except you know when you get a thin crust pizza and it's like a nice fermented dough, it's not that. But if I was craving pizza and I didn't want to order in, this is a great alternative. I'm very happy with this. Definitely make sure to grease the bottom though, so you get a nice crispy crust and it doesn't get soggy. Yeah, this is a great snack. I mean, especially if like, you know, you have no time to cook or there's nothing in the house. I know I always have tortillas in the house. You can make pizza sauce out of tomato paste, water, and Italian spices. Yeah, love it. Edgy veg approved, super tasty. Okay guys, well that is all of the recipes for today. If you have a favorite TikTok recipe or you saw a TikTok recipe and you don't know how to make it vegan or you want me to make it vegan or test it out, just stick the link in the comment section down below. And I'll do this again if you like this type of video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this style of me testing those viral videos. That way I know to make more of it for you. All right, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, all the things. Okay, bye.